Welcome guys back to another video in the channel. We are doing our match preview and predicted lineup for our game against Aston Villa. Now this is going to be quite a huge game. I've done a small preview to this on my Premier League predictions, so if you haven't checked that out, it's probably last few videos on my channel. You can easily find it, but we are playing Aston Villa and this means Emiliano Martinez is coming back to the Emirates, and it'll be a very interesting game for a lot of Arsenal fans that thought we sold our best goalkeeper to Aston Villa, and I think it will be an emotional return for him as well, as he spent 10 years at the club. Even though he didn't really play that much, you know, it's still a club close to his heart, and he'll be hoping to defeat us obviously, and probably try and keep a clean sheet as well. In our last game we did beat Moldova 4-1. If you haven't checked the player ratings out and match reaction for that, it's the last video on my channel as well. And yeah, let's get straight into this preview. And Aston Villa have been doing very well this season. Looking at their form this season, especially, you know, in match day 2, obviously didn't play match day 1 against Manchester City because it got postponed, but in the match day 2 they actually got a 1-0 win versus Villa, then a 3-0 win versus Fulham, then a 7-2 win versus Liverpool, which was an absolutely crazy win, then a 1-0 win versus Leicester City. But then recently the form has dipped slightly because they did lose 3-0 at the hands of Leeds United before losing 4-3 to Southampton, despite quite a late comeback in which Ollie Watkins and Jack Grealish scored 2 late goals to try and bring them back into it, but unfortunately they could not do enough. But I think, in my opinion, Dean Smith's side, you know, he's got his team, you know, ready for this, you know, and you know, they've done very well. You know, Jack Grealish literally saved them, literally saved them out of nowhere to keep them up in the Premier League when they did look like they were going to go down. And you know, they spent really well in the summer transfer window, bringing in the likes of Martinez, Ollie Watkins, other players as well that have really helped them propel them up, and they will be looking to solidify their place in the Premier League and possibly even push for Europe. Who knows? But I think that is going to be a stretch. I think for now, just to secure their place in the Premier League, try and aim for mid-table at highest will be a good aim for Aston Villa. But you know, they have secured Jack Grealish to a long-term contract. They are doing very well at the moment, even though their form has dipped slightly over the last 2 weeks, but they will be ready for this game. You know, our form against Aston Villa hasn't been the greatest. On match day 37 last season, after lockdown, we did lose to them. I think it was 1-0. We lost. Jack Grealish as well scored in that game, and it was influential in them staying up in the Premier League. So, you know, those low blocks, we don't usually play well against them, and I think, you know, we have to improve our form against them. And if we want to do that, we have to beat these teams like Aston Villa, who will come to the Emirates and they will just sit back. They will just sit, and they will just sit, and they'll ask you, come break our block, come break our block. And if we can do it, we can do it. If we can't, it's a bit of a problem, isn't it? But we have to try our best and see how it goes. But last game we played was against Manchester United, and we did very well in that game. But you know, I've said this in my player ratings, I've said this on many streams on other people's channels, it's more a relief, and I think we have to build upon this. There's no point in beating United at Old Trafford. Yes, it's a huge, you know, thing off our shoulders now that, you know, since 2006 we hadn't won there, and since 5 years since Cazorla and Giroud we hadn't won away to a top 6 side. But then, you know, we have to build upon this. You know, we have to use this as a platform now to step forward and do well in the Premier League, get some consistent run together. And it starts here against Aston Villa, doesn't it? Because if we lose, then what's changed? You know what I mean? You know, you can't, you know, Arteta can do it in these one-off games, but can he do it consistently? That's the thing we're going to be talking about. But we are going to get straight into the predicted lineup, starting off in goal, Bernd Leno. He did play the game against Moldova, but I think, yeah, he is our number 1 goalkeeper. I would have liked to see Runarsson play the game against against Moldova, but yeah, he didn't play, and we have to stick with Leno for this game. He did all right in the Moldova game, and hopefully he is ready for this game against Aston Villa. Obviously, keepers, they don't really need rotation. They hardly do much in games anyway, compared to the outfield players anyway. So moving into our back 3, which is what I'm going to go with. First of all, on the right-hand side of that centre-back, I will go with Rob Holding. He was exceptional in the game against Manchester United, and I really want to see him keep his, you know, run going, and that would be very helpful for the team. I don't want to see Mustafi near the team, especially after his performance versus Moldova as well. You know, he wasn't very good. He was shaky at times, and I think, yeah, we just have to continue with that, and I'll go with Rob Holding. Moving into the middle now, I will go with David Luiz. He did play the game against Moldova as well as Mustafi, but not including Mustafi here, but David Luiz I'm going with. And yeah, he is quite solid, and with the player I'm going to put next to him, which is Gabriel, and I think these two play quite well together, the Brazilian link-up as they all call it. And I think those three can work really well together, and I have a lot of faith in them. And hopefully, yeah, some the diagonal balls will get Gabriel and David Luiz down the middle and down the wide can really help us. And I have no doubt in that. So that is the three I'm going to go with. Moving into the two in midfield, first of all, I will go with Thomas Partey. He did not play the game against Molde, and yeah, that's the good news for us because, yeah, he's rested and he'll be ready for this game. Thomas Partey, man of the match performance in the game versus Manchester United last week, and he was exceptional. That is simply why you pay 50-odd million euros for such a class player, and he is a class player. And hopefully he can continue this form consistently now, because that is what we need from a lot of our players. We need consistency, and that moves me on to our next player in that midfield, and I will go with Mohamed El Neni. I can't remember the last time I put him in a predicted 11 starting 11 for a Premier League game, but he deserves it, to be honest, because towards the end of the Molde game he was superb. He was excellent in the Manchester United game. Maybe Partey or Neni is a good combination, and with the attacking players we have ahead of him, that is something we could look to do. And if we do bring in a number 10, then those two can link up to him as well. So I think it's working at the moment, and why would we drop it if it's working, because it did work against United, and hopefully it can work here against Aston Villa as well. So yeah, moving into the left wing back, I will go with Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney did play last few minutes against Molde, didn't really get involved, so he'll be much ready for this game. I want to see more of what he's been doing, putting crosses in, getting on that byline, and doing what he can do, which is go down that wing and put crosses in, because he is superb at doing that. And defending as well, he's very good, so no problem with that. Moving on to the right wing back, I'll go with Hector Bellerin. Last few weeks, consistently, he's actually been decent, and we're starting to see some of the Bellerin, that we all used to see a few years ago. I'm not still changing my opinion on him, but again, he has to do it more consistently now over a length of games, over a length of months, and that's where you start to really judge a player. So that's why I'll go with Hector Bellerin, and I think, off David Luiz's balls, diagonal balls, he's been doing very well, so no problem with that. Moving into the front three, first of all, on the left hand side, I will go Bukayo Saka. Again, played last few minutes against who did he play the last few minutes against? He did, yeah, against Molde, and he did very well. He actually got an assist for Pepe's goal. Did very well in my opinion, and I've got no problem in putting him in there. He gives us a lot of energy down that left hand side, combining with Tierney as well. With Gabriel's long passes, I think we could have a very good partnership down that left hand side. And if we do end up bringing in someone like Willock as well, again, a lot of energy, and I think that will be needed in a game against Aston Villa, where you're not going to get a huge amount of chances. You have to work really hard to get that first goal. That's where the floodgates do open, and then that's where you try and clinch the 2-3-0 win, because we need one of those. Since the Fulham game, we haven't won convincingly in the Premier League, and I think that'll be much useful for this game. And moving on to the right hand side, I'll go Nicolas Pepe. And I think, he played well. I did criticize him in my player ratings by saying, his end product should be better. But he's doing a lot of the right things. And I want to see him in the Premier League now, play consistently, week in, week out. He keeps getting dropped for one game, play one game, drop, play one game. So it's a bit of a mix. And I think I want to see, him playing consistently now. And hopefully he can. But again, for some reason, Arteta always likes putting Willian in. Even though Willian hasn't really done much. He did a bit against Manchester United for 10 odd minutes. But other than that, since the Fulham game, he hasn't really done a lot. So I will go with Nicolas Pepe. Down the middle, I will go with the main man, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I think we have to start playing him down the middle now. Yes, he did score against Manchester United, but it was from a penalty. It wasn't from open play. When was the last time he scored from open play? Yeah, it was the Fulham game. So yeah, we need to put him down the middle so he can get more chances, because we know what he can do. He puts the ball in the back of the net, and I think we need to put him down the middle so he can do that for us. Arteta in his press conferences has suggested that he could play Aubameyang as a 9, but again, we have to play him as a 14. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, that Thierry Henry position, we have to play him there, plays off the back of defenders, and that's what he does best, and that's what we have to put him. And that is it for my predicted 11. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you agree or disagree with this one? And as I said, it's going to be a very hard game against Aston Villa, and we have to be up for it. If we're not, we are going to get beat, and I think we have to understand that. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose, but I really hope we can win, because we do have to move up that table quickly, because our objective for the season is top 4. And since Aston Villa are playing really well, it'd be a good win to have, because I think we have the international break, and then after that we have Leeds United. So again, quite a hard couple of games, and we are sitting in 9th at the moment with with 12 points in 7 games. Aston Villa at the moment, they've played 6 games, but they've got the same amount of points as us. So getting one over them, getting above them in the table can be very good for us. And if we do get a win here, we could potentially go into second. But again, the teams above us would probably win their games. But I'm just saying, potentially we could get into that top 4 at least. And I think that should be the target for this season. Whether that's through the Europa League, through the top 4, we have to get into the Champions League. And again, we have to win these games against Aston Villa, teams that will put a low block against you. And hopefully we can win this game. So yeah, leave your thoughts and predicted lineup. Do you agree with mine? Do you disagree with mine? Leave your predicted score as well in the comment section down below. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.